The morning light was thin, soft, grey washing over the hills, as the man adjusted the strap of his worn satchel and scanned the path ahead. The road curved sharply, descending toward a river that swelled from recent rains. Behind him, the young woman watched quietly, her hands folded over her basket. The two had been walking since dawn, uncertain where the trail would lead or what dangers might lie ahead. The river was wide and fast, swollen with winter's melting snow. Crossing it seemed impossible. The man's heart beat faster as he stepped closer, feeling the uneven stones underfoot. Fear prickled at him. The thought of slipping and being swept away made him hesitate. The young woman's eyes met his, reflecting her own unease. They had both heard stories of travelers lost to waters just like these, and the memory of those warnings pressed on them now. Yet, he remembered the words he had carried in his heart, spoken in quiet moments during his prayers, that the path before him was not unknown, though it was frightening, and that he would not be left alone. The thought was fragile, easily swept aside by the roaring river, yet it clung to him like a lantern flickering in the wind. He bent down, testing the current with a stone. The water rushed past, pulling at his fingers. His stomach tightened. Every instinct screamed to retreat, to wait until the river calmed. But he also felt an urging inside, a quiet, steady insistence that the path continued, that he had to move forward, even without seeing the safe landing on the other side. Taking a deep breath, he reached for a sturdy branch lying near the riverbank. He stepped carefully, one foot after the other, feeling the slippery stones beneath him. The river tugged at him, more forceful than he anticipated. A sudden slip sent a shiver through him, and he clutched the branch tightly, water splashing around his ankles. The young woman called out, her voice laced with worry, but he did not stop. He had to trust the guidance he could not see, the presence he felt more than he understood. Step by step, inch by inch, he made it halfway. The current thrashed against him, water reaching his knees, cold and relentless. He glanced back and saw the young woman hesitating at the bank, unsure if she should attempt the crossing or wait. Her fear mirrored his own, yet he felt a surge of quiet reassurance he had crossed this far, and she would not be alone. The final stretch was the hardest. One misstep could mean being swept away entirely. His muscles burned with exertion, his breath ragged in the chilly air. And yet, he noticed the river itself seemed to soften as he leaned on the branch and trusted each careful step. Stones that had seemed treacherous became footholds. The water's roar became a rhythm he could follow. Finally, with a last effort, he stepped onto the far bank. The river behind him continued its relentless course, but he stood on solid ground, soaked, shivering, but unbroken. The young woman crossed shortly after, hesitating at first, then trusting the path he had forged. When she reached the bank, they both paused, taking in the quiet after the stormy current, hearts still racing but anchored in relief. The man shook the water from his tunic and looked at the river, its power undeniable, yet no longer terrifying. He did not speak, and neither did the young woman. Words were unnecessary. The journey had taught them something deeper than any explanation could capture. Fear had pressed against them, doubt had whispered in their ears, yet the act of stepping forward, of trusting when the way seemed impossible, had carried them through. As the sun broke through the grey clouds, casting pale gold across the hills and river, the man folded his satchel and continued along the path. The young woman followed, her steps lighter, her glance toward the horizon steadier. Neither could see exactly what lay ahead, but the river behind them was proof. The presence that guided them through uncertainty had not faltered, and their hearts could carry the quiet assurance into the unknown. They walked on, not triumphant, not boasting, but quietly aware that the strength to move forward had come not from certainty, but from faith, small and unwavering, carried step by step across a storm.